to imagine there's only one human race. We like to cling on to our divisions to exhibit our hate. Maybe one day we'll listen to the wise men who say, we don't own a piece of Mother Earth. Mother Earth owns us, and everybody here is on a temporary stay.
I'm just a passionate believer in the power of the personal story. So I think that journalists, academics, politicians have very little sway, actually. I think you're absolutely right, empathy is key. And you get empathy by hearing these stories of Jinn and Napa, by hearing people like Sue.
I think we need to reclaim the word victim. In my own situation, there were, there was an attack, 21 people died, a number of people survived, right? So there were survivors and there were victims. And the people who survived were the people who didn't get killed. So there has to be a place to use the word victim, and there should be nothing shameful about the fact that we're vulnerable, we're capable of being abused, all of us, and when something bad is done to us, we are a victim.
I left hospital and began to heal, and I realised actually from a very, very early stage that my healing was going really well because of the decision that I'd made to take control of this process, and the fact that I decided that day to forgive this man and not to hold any bitterness or resentment or anger or any other feeling, negative feeling towards him. I always felt that there must be a different way of resolving this crime than just punishments. And I think by being allowed to meet him, him agreeing to take part in that conference, I think it's elevated both of us to another level. And we have now become friends. I'm going to be visiting him at the end of next week as a visitor. Nothing to do with restorative justice. I'm going to support him through the rest of his sentence, and I shall be waiting at the gates for him when he's released from prison to help him.
The hardest part of building a shared future is not politics. It is the rehumanization of relationships, because it involves us. They talk in peacemaking about hard and soft. The hard stuff is the politics, the soft stuff is the relationships. Let me tell you, it's hard and harder. It's not hard and soft. It's hard and harder. Rebuilding the trust that humanity is possible is a much more difficult task, simply because it cannot be guaranteed by power. It requires risk, exactly as you talked about here. And it cannot be legislated. It requires people to take steps.
An offender, and the offender kind of needs to change. He needs to have a reason to change. And that's my purpose now. And along with that, you obviously need the support. I've had a lot of support from a mentor, voluntary mentor, my probation officer was quite helpful as well, and just all the people that believe in me.
In fact, everything God does is through human beings, if you like, or through creation, and therefore you, in that sense, you don't need God to forgive, because forgiveness is conditional on human forgiveness. And that's a well-known principle in Islamic teachings, which is that if you've sinned between yourself and God, then you ask God for forgiveness. But if you've hurt other people in that process, then you must ask forgiveness from the other people also.
I think you need to speak to the person that's done that. You need to know why. You need to know that they're sorry. So you need to see the pain that they're going through as well for what they've done, rather than they just think they've done something and they've got away with it. So for me, I think it was very important that I had answers, and I had somebody that was there to explain why and to apologise for what they've done.
My hardest challenge for me is really forgiving myself and having compassion for the self. That's sort of the hardest piece that has come for me. It's like, I still struggle with it, I still work at it, and it's a process.
Because we lose our humanity when we go into fear. That's the only way we lose our humanity, is through fear. If we can raise people up out of that level of fear, which I think is the job of all of us, whether it's with a small child or an old person about to die, or whoever it is, or somebody who's just about to take up arms and go and fight some jihad somewhere, is to take them, lift them from the fear, which is at one level of humanity, and lift them to a higher level of themselves.